So will you be live broadcasting it?
हाँ वो भी I'm just setting that up. क्योंकि YouTube की जो कस्टमर है वो यहाँ पे नहीं आता है, मतलब मेल लिस्ट में नहीं आता इसलिए।
YouTube पे कितने लोग हैं तेरे?
अभी स्टार्ट किया है, 1 month हुआ है, 1000 के आसपास है।
So will you be live broadcasting it?
Yeah, it's live. वो भी I'm just setting that up. क्योंकि YouTube की जो कस्टमर है वो यहाँ पे नहीं आता है, मतलब मेल लिस्ट में नहीं आता इसलिए। Okay.
YouTube पे कितने लोग हैं तेरे?
अभी स्टार्ट किया है, 1 month हुआ है, 1000 के आसपास है।
So will you be live broadcasting it?
Yeah,
So
it's live. I'm just setting that up.
YouTube you'll have to mute, otherwise वो lag पे आता है।
हटा दिया मैंने। Yeah. So ठीक है, मैं I'm letting people in.
Sure.
ये बहुत अच्छे ईयरफोन है, थैंक यू।
So we'll start in another 2 minutes. Let more people join in, and then we'll start. Give us 2 minutes for that. I think so. We can start. More and more people will join in as in they come in.
Sure.
So hello everyone, welcome to this webinar where I've called in Abhinav sir. So just to give you an introduction, so actually when I joined American Express, Abhinav sir actually left, so I never got a chance to actually interact with him. But within the organization, I've heard a lot about him, and even all my seniors, they have all known him a lot, and they've all praised him. So I requested him to come in for all the people who are there, who have just qualified or who are there in this finance journey, to come in and become an excellent finance professional. So sir has a very vast experience. If you want to ask me, he's like 22 years of experience. He has seen, first of all, 2008, the 2008 recession, and then today in COVID as well. He has been mentoring a lot of people, and there were a lot of people in my batch itself where I teach blockchain. So they always told me that, okay, sir has been phenomenal and he has helped a lot of people. So based on that, I felt that yes, we should have something whereby we should invite sir and we should go ahead with it. So I asked sir if he can come in on a Sunday and give us a few time for us, and he was happy enough to doing it. So he has worked in American Express, like I told you, in my organization itself. Before that, he has been there in Google and KPMG, again somewhere we all aspire to go. So I will not waste too much time in it, and you will see in this 1 hour how much you can gain. So go ahead and enjoy it to the fullest. You have questions posted there. I'll try and ask all those questions that are there from sir. So don't miss it out. Don't miss out anything that is that you want to go ahead and understand. Over to you, sir.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. What a wonderful pleasure. Thank you so much, Aishwari, for organizing this, for letting me here and giving me the opportunity to speak to such a wonderful audience today. I actually saw some familiar names, a couple of familiar faces. So I'm assuming there are people from American Express. If you've ever worked with me in the past, whether at Amex or any other place, please type a yes on the chat box so that I can know that who are all those familiar people. If you've connected with me on LinkedIn or you've been a part of my mentoring programs in the past, I saw a couple of those people here as well. So please type away. Please say a yes on the chat box. I'd like to make it very interactive, folks. I'd like to make sure that this is not a one-way communication. I'd like to make sure that all of you get an opportunity to engage and interact, ask your questions, like Aishwari said, and I love answering questions. I'm going to do that. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take the liberty of taking your 90 minutes instead of 60, like Aishwari said. I got a lot of content to share with you. So I would like to do that. And so it'll take about 90 minutes. The way I like to go about it is, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share this very popular webinar of mine, which is called Becoming an Extraordinary Finance Professional. And I started doing this last February, just before the lockdown came. And since then, more than 2,000 people, I think maybe even more, have attended this particular program, this particular training session. 2,000 plus people have attended it. Out of those 2,000, about 300 went on to join my mentoring programs that I run with finance professionals and chartered accountants. Almost all of them had significant breakthroughs in their careers. So last 1 year has been incredibly gratifying for me. So I'm hoping I can add some value to each one of you today. All right. So some people are sending me messages in private. Folks, don't send me messages in private. Send it so that everybody can see it. Gitika is saying, yes, I connected over LinkedIn, and Galaxy Note 7 is worked with me in the past or connected with me. So wonderful. Welcome on board, each one of you. So let me just share my screen, folks. Let me get you to see the PowerPoint that I'm going to be sharing with you. Make some notes. If you have a notebook with you, try to take some notes as I talk about some of these interesting topics or aspects of career building that I'm going to share with you. Take screenshots if you'd like. Ask questions if you'd like. The way I want to go about it is over the next 1 hour or so, or maybe 1 hour, 15 minutes, I will share with you the step-by-step method that I personally believe will help you find any sort of success that you want to have in your career. Nothing will stop you once you kind of learn how to implement these steps in your career. So you're going to learn all of that. I'm going to take about 10 minutes to introduce myself, so bear with me. I'll just try to tell you what all I've done that's brought me here, so that you understand that whatever I say, I speak from my experience and all the knowledge that I've acquired. And in the after I'm done with sharing all the content and the steps with you, I'm going to tell you about what we do as a part of our mentoring programs. And in case any one of you is interested in joining us, like I said, more than 300 people in the last 1 year joined. A couple of them are here as a part of this program today as well. like Shantini. Yes, Shantini, you were a part of Finance Leadership Mastermind 10. Welcome. So I'll share that and I'll give you the opportunity to join that right away. And then in the last maybe 20-25 minutes, half an hour, maybe, depending on how much patience you have with me, I'll answer all your questions, any questions with regards to career, with regards to what kind of profiles to choose, what kind of courses to pick up, how to prepare for interviews, how to apply for jobs, any kind of questions that you might have. I'd be happy to take those questions up. So let me just get my screen up now so that you can all see the PowerPoint. Alrighty, there we go. Just putting it up on screen share mode here. All right, I'm hoping everybody can see it. And like I said, please keep sharing your thoughts in the chat box so that I can listen to you as well. All right, so we're going to design your extraordinary career today, guys. My name is Abhinav Goyal. I'm the co-founder of Finniche. Finniche is a boutique and an extraordinary organization that me and my two fellow founders, Akhil and Sumit, have formed, and we collaborate a lot with Aishwari in helping chartered accountants and finance professionals like you become successful. What is my disclaimer? Once you've attended this program, guys, and this, again, I speak from experience of having done this with more than 2,000 people in the last 1 year, your career journey may never be the same again. You will learn things that you're not aware of today. You will learn how to do them. And once you start to implement them, your career journey is going to take off. That's my commitment to you. That's my promise to you. I'm going to ensure that's going to happen to you today. But there is a safety announcement. For those of you, and there are some people always in a crowd who are not willing to change. If you're not willing to change, things will not change for you. Your career will remain as it is. If you're willing to change, if you're willing to try out some new methods and new ways that you hear about, if you're a believer, then this is the right kind of session for you. These 90 minutes have the potential of totally transforming your career today. So if you're willing to change, if you're a believer, then this is the right place. If you're not, then this is probably a good time for you to step away and save 90 minutes of your life. All right, my goal is to help you overcome the odds and help you build a truly successful career. And what are these odds? These odds are the recession. These odds are lockdown. These odds are professional qualifications. These odds are the competition. So I'm going to help you understand how you can overcome each one of these odds and build a truly successful career for yourself. If you're interested in knowing more about this, please type in the chat box so that I can see that you are interested in learning about these things. Please go ahead and chat away in the chat box. Right, next, if you stay until the end, I will get you free access to a specially designed interview cheat sheet. This is something I haven't even told Aishwari yet. So all of you who are attending this session today will get access to a cheat sheet that I have personally prepared. It's got the methods and steps that you need to follow before you go in for an interview. So I'm going to share that with each one of you. All right, now, are you ready to acquire 20 years of learning and wisdom, folks? If you are, then you need to keep those books aside. If you're ready to acquire 20 years of learning and wisdom in the next 90 minutes, then we're going to make sure that you get what you're seeking. But I have a question for each one of you, and I just see Sebastian Daniels also joined us. Sebastian is one of my old students too. So why have you joined this training, folks? I have 3 options for you. Let me see which option do you pick. Option number A is because you want to find your first job or your next job. Option number B is because you want to build long-term career success. Or option number C is because you want to live a superior life, which is the option that you want to go for. Let me see some answers up on the screen. Can I see some answers on the chat screen, guys? A, B, or C. Why have you joined this program today? It's a Sunday afternoon. You could have been doing so much more. Valentine's Day, in fact, you could have been out on a date, you could have been watching something on Netflix, just go out with friends. I don't know, you could have done so much more. What is it that you're here for? Unfortunately, I cannot see the chat box, but I'm hoping you guys are responding right now. Let's see if I can get the chat box up for myself while I'm sharing the screen.
It's mainly B and C, but there are a lot of people in A as well.
All right. I'm getting all of those answers now because I started the screen share. I love watching answers, looking at answers. And so lots of you with B's and C's. That's good. Guys, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to ensure that you learn all the methods that you need to learn to get your next job, to get your first job. But what's more important is to build long-term career success. That's what I have personally aspired to do ever since I started my career. I'm going to share my journey in a bit with you. What's more important is to have a long-term holistic view towards your career and not just look at the next job. It's easy. Finding the next job is easy, but is that the right kind of job for you? Is that job going to take you where you want to get into your career? That's more important. And frankly, if you solve for B, C automatically comes in. If you build a plan for long-term career success, you will live a superior life. So that's perfectly going to happen. Now, this is me, guys, just in case for those of you who don't know me. I'm Abhinav Goyal, more than 20 years now, like Ashwari said, with KPMG, Google, American Express. I started my career with KPMG, worked in audit for a couple of years. I come from a very small town, like many of you probably do as well. Then spent some time with KPMG, worked with Google for a few years, both in India and a little bit in US, and 12 years with American Express. Some of you are from American Express, so from there you might know me. Then I'm the co-founder of Finniche, like I mentioned. This is an organization which works solely with finance professionals. We help finance professionals like you become industry ready. We help you become empowered enough to build the careers that you want. And on the other side, we work with corporate organizations to help them fulfill their staffing needs or to help them recruit the best finance talent in the market. I'm also the author of 2 best-selling books. I'm a coach certified by the International Coach Federation by Dr. Marshall Goldsmith and Jack Canfield. Dr. Goldsmith is one of the top 5 executive coaches in the world, and Jack Canfield is known as America's #1 success trainer. And in the last couple of years, ever since I left my last job at Amex as a vice president of finance, I have coached, mentored, and trained over 50,000 people. So this journey continues. It continues to be very inspiring for me, and it continues to be very fulfilling because I continue to help people like you along the journey. So just some picture snapshots of my good times that I've had in the past. These are some images from my times at Google, both in India and at the Mountain View, California headquarters of Google. Some images from American Express. Some of the people here in the chat in the session today are sitting in these pictures. Great time with this amazing organization, 12 years that I spent here. And then these are 2 very special images that I have. The one on top right is me with Dr. Marshall Goldsmith. The one on bottom left is my image with Jack Canfield, 2 of my trainers and mentors, 2 people who helped me understand how to build long-term career success. And that's what I'm going to try and do today. And I've done everything that I've done because I believe there's nothing impossible. If you want to accomplish something, there is absolutely nothing which can stop you from getting it done. And that's me with my second book, What on Earth Are You Doing? Now, for me, it's time to give back. The reason I left my job at American Express was because I love mentoring people. I love coaching people. I love working with youngsters. I love helping people unlock their true potential. So for me, it's now time to give back and build my new career as a career coach and a mentor. But let me also show you my scars. What does that mean? Because a lot of people make this mistake of thinking that some of us are lucky. For example, I could be lucky. I worked with all of these great organizations. I had it easy. Well, not really. I have failed more often than I have succeeded. I've had bosses who've abused me, who've actually thrown papers on my face. I was sacked during the last economic recession. Ashwari was mentioning that 2009 is when I lost my job because of the previous economic recession. So I know how it works during these economic slowdowns. I've been financially broke twice in my life, so I know how to overcome that as well. So in the past 20 years, I have accomplished everything that I dreamt of, and I did not listen to anybody who said, get real. Now, this is exactly what I want you guys to do as well. I do not want you to restrict your dreams or to have a small dream just because people tell you that you cannot go out and achieve everything that you want. That is important, but I discovered this the hard way, and you get to cheat and get it the easy way, because in the next 60 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to get this done. How many of you want the easy way that will turbocharge your career? Please chat away in the chat box so that I can see how many of you want to turbocharge your career. You want the easy way to turbocharge your career. Let me see if you do. If you want to know the easy way to turbocharge your career, guys. All right, I'm getting some yeses. Anup and Sneha and Ekta. All right, and Shubham, fantastic. Gitika says yes. Manak and Dhruv, thank you so much, guys. Parth, Ashish, it's always good to see you guys on the screen and seeing those messages. And Sai and Anuradha, Bhavya, thank you so much. All of you want the easy way, and I'm going to share with you exactly how you can get it done. All right. if we are ready. But I want you to understand that the results are not typical. What I accomplished in my life, you may not accomplish, because your career is not going to be a mirror image of mine. Your dreams will not be the same as my dreams. Your desires and aspirations and your potential is different from my potential. And I hope it is bigger than mine as well. Also understand that nobody, howsoever good a trainer might be, howsoever good I may be today, your life is not going to change in 90 minutes. What will happen though is that you will start understanding how to change your life. You will start understanding what actions to take so that your career starts to go to the next level. And once you understand that, you will start to amaze yourself. Even starting today, folks, I'm going to share with you at least 20 to 30 things in the next 1 hour. Even if you can start implementing 2 out of those 20 or 30 today, your career will start changing and you'll start amazing yourself. Now, another question for each one of you. I want you to imagine your career 5 years from now, because it's very important to have a long-term vision of your career. Many of you have gone for interviews. One of the common questions is, where do you see yourself in the long run? I want you to think about that right now. In 5 years from now, what would you be doing? How much would you be earning? And what would be the quality of your life? Let's see what kind of answers do I get up on the screen. This is one of the most interesting questions that I get, or the answers that I get from people. Let's see what answers I'm going to get. Gonna wait for a minute while people think. All right. Kuku Rani Matthews sees herself as a mentor. All right. So you can come and join us. We'll be happy to have you as a mentor with us. Let's see what other answers are going to come up on the screen. Guys, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? What do you see yourself doing 5 years from now? All right. So running a company, Parth says, and Gitika says, as an investment banker, sure. I always find investment bankers want to be investment bankers in this session. Khushbu wants to be a tax professional. Maybe wants to be a financial analyst. Let's see, guys, come on. I'm waiting for somebody to tell me that you want to be a CEO or a CFO as well. Dhruvit wants to be an equity analyst. Dhruv wants to working in Wipro as a CFO, all right. Anurup, a well-qualified professional at some senior position. Absolutely. More answers, guys. Come on, chat away and tell me, what do you want to be 5 years from now? Ekta wants to be a fine finance professional. All right. The power of dreams is big, guys. If you dream big, you will get it. If you dream small, you will get it. So better dream big. Dinkar wants to be the senior position in finance. All right. Thank you so much, folks, for those answers. And now we're going to go right into the training. All right. So this is everybody's story right here. This is everybody's story. The red circle is where you are right now, and the blue circle is where you want to be in your career. There is a big gap. There is a big gap between where you are, your reality today, and your aspirations in 5 years from now. How do you fulfill this gap, or what is this gap even made up of? That's something that we're going to share today. I'm going to talk to you about that. There are 3 problems that I know every one of us faces when it comes to accomplishing our true potential or going after our dreams. Problem number 1, you don't really know what you want. Most of us struggle with this. Most of us young finance professionals, chartered accountants struggle with this. We don't really know what we want. What kind of career do we want to build? Do we want to get into audits? Do we want to get into investment banking? Do we want to get into retail banking, shared services, taxation? What is right for me? I don't even know that. And I'm confused. Second problem, you feel you're not good enough. You can't communicate well. You can't speak good English. You've taken too many attempts to qualify. You don't have good referral network. You don't have relatives and friends in big companies. And the third problem, folks, is you don't know how to get it done. Even if you know what you want, you just don't know how to get it done. You want to become a CFO in 10 years or 15 years from now. How will you get it done? A lot of people struggle with that. So tell me, chat away in the chat box, folks, and tell me if you face any one of these 3 problems today or all 3 of them. Honestly, when I started out my career, I had each one of these 3 problems that I was dealing with. I did not really know what I want. I felt I was not good enough because I couldn't even speak in proper English, and I didn't know how to get it done for myself. So if you're facing any of these 3 problems, like Anuradha says, Anuradha thinks all 3, and somebody else with the strange name says maybe all 3. Dhruv says first and third. Prabhat says all 3, but struggling with last one. Lokesh also, all of you feel, most of you feel that All of these problems exist in your life right now, and that is what's stopping you from getting it done, folks. You are qualified, you are highly educated, you're technically skilled, but still you are yourself telling me that something is stopping you. And one of these three problems, or all three of these problems, are what is stopping you. Thank you so much for answering these questions, folks. Now I'm going to share with you three secrets today, folks. Three secrets. Very, very carefully listen to me over the next 1 hour. I'm going to share with you three secrets that will solve for each one of these three problems. And in exactly 1 hour or 45 minutes from now, I'm going to ask you the question, have I told you how to solve the three problems? And I guarantee each one of you is going to say, yes, you did. So here are the three secrets that you all need to understand. Secret number one, you have to build a plan for success. You need to have a plan, a long-term plan when it comes to your career. Don't just move from one job to another. Just don't take up random opportunities. Just don't follow the herd. Have a plan for success. I'm going to teach you how you build a plan for success today. Secret number two, you have to get better than others. It's a highly competitive landscape, folks, very competitive. Every job that you apply for has probably got 1,000 applicants coming in. You need to know how to get better than others. And I'm going to teach you how you can become better than others. And secret number three, you have to define your personal brand. What differentiates you? What kind of things people say about you in the marketplace? That's very, very important to help you get what you want. So I'm going to unlock each one of these three secrets step by step so that you understand what you can do to build your extraordinary career. If you're all ready, please chat away on say yes in the chat box so that I know you're still with me and I'm not the only one talking here. All right, Prabal, Ekta, thank you so much. And Baby and Sebastian. Sebastian, you already learned it from me, but again, all right, Anurup and Kuku and Shraddha, thank you so much. All of you want to learn these three secrets, and I'm going to teach you every single thing that I know, folks, every single thing that I know, so that you can do this by yourself. Secret number one, we're going to start off with, you have to build a plan for success. Very, very important. Why is it important? Because I'm going to tell you a story right now. Please listen to this story carefully. It's probably the story of most of us. Because a lot of you are chartered accountants, pursuing CA, just qualified, etc. Pre-qualification stage, folks, I live this stage. We study for countless hours, hundreds of hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day, and we work like an ass as an article assistant. And we go through moments of fear and anxiety, waiting for the results. The result just came last week, a couple of weeks back for the final attempt. We wait anxiously. Sometimes we pass, sometimes we don't. And this is a really difficult period. We all know this is one of the hardest examinations to qualify across the world, not just in India. Very difficult phase. We are all slogging ourselves through this. And then eventually one fine day, like many of you became chartered accountants, in case any of you became qualified CA in this attempt when the result came out 10 days ago, please say yes so that I can congratulate you. Or if you cleared your IPCC, tell me yes so that I can congratulate you. But what happens, folks, is, all right, Baby became a CA, so did Ritika. Fantastic. Good job, guys. Sai, congratulations to each one of you. But what happens when you become a chartered accountant, folks? You start to party. You realize, you feel that you've arrived in life, everything's going to get sorted, all the hard work's paid off, and now you can party. But very soon, you're going to start realizing, where are the jobs? When I was doing these sessions last year, guys, I was working with students who had qualified as chartered accountants and had waited for 4 months, 5 months to get a decent job for themselves. What starts to happen after a couple of months is desperation starts to kick in, because you're feeling the pressure. You're feeling the pressure from your friends, society, and family, and you're wondering whether all this hard work was worth it. You are desperately trying to get a job, and you're now begging anybody, just get me any job. It does not matter which company, which brand, how much money, what profile, just get me a job. That's a second stage that many of you are going through, like you're mentioning on the chat box. And then comes the last stage, where some of you've been qualified for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and you've been working in a job. This stage is called, what am I doing? Because you now have a job, but very soon you realize that this job sucks. The money isn't great. The boss is terrible. The brand is bad. I don't like the profile. I don't feel like my skills are being used. I don't like the fact that I'm not learning anything new. It's boring. If you're going through this phase, the what am I doing phase, please tell me so that I know if you're going through the third phase. And folks, trust me, this is the hardest phase, because 90% of the people eventually get stuck in this third phase. They don't know what to do with their career because they thought they found a job and now everything is sorted, but this job is just not right for them. They're not enjoying, they're not learning, you're not growing, and now you're stuck. And once you're stuck for a few years, it's very hard to get out. Like Bhavya is saying, going through the third phase, and Anuradha saying, not learning anything now. That's what happens, folks. It happened with me for a while as well. And it's happening with many of you. And trust me, the reason I've kept the third box as the biggest box here is because that's where all of us get stuck eventually. Almost every one of us gets stuck in this third box. Why does it happen? Because we focus on the short term and not on the long term. Our intention is just to find the job and get going rather than thinking about what kind of job is right for me. Where will I build my long-term career success? What do I enjoy doing? I'm not even aware of what my strengths and weaknesses are, what kind of brands are best suited for me, what kind of profile is best suited for me. So I have no self-awareness and I follow the herd. This is what I did. For example, when I started out working for KPMG, everybody wanted to work for a big four. All of my friends were going there and I was a first attempt qualified person. So I also followed the herd, went into KPMG, and for 2 years, folks, I was suffering from a nervous breakdown because I hated that job. I hated the organization. I hated the people, just could not handle it. And if any of you are working in a big four and struggling with the same kind of things that I struggled, please say yes in the chat box, because I know hundreds and thousands of people who go into big fours thinking that their career is going to be made because everybody wants to go there, end up struggling. Another reason is money versus self. What does this mean? At the beginning of your career, you focus too much on a little bit more money and not as much on your long-term career growth. Trust me, folks, if you are a chartered accountant or about to become one, you are all going to become very, very rich. Let me tell you this right now today. In 10 years from now, you will all have enough money and more. So money will come. What you need to focus on in the early stage of your career is what is right for you. All right. And finally, our education system, folks, it does not train you about how to plan for a successful career. You're just taught how to read books, how to give exams, how to work harder, but it does not teach us how to plan smartly for our career. And that's what we try and do. So I'm going to share with you some steps that I follow or I help my students follow when it comes to career planning. I call it strategic career planning. Step number one is you need to know your skills, abilities, and values. And then you need to explore opportunities so that you can make the right decisions and then you work towards your goal. But exactly how does it happen? Let me show you. So for example, what I do with my students or what I did for myself many, many years ago is I conduct a psychometric assessment for every one of my students. What you see on the screen here is a screenshot of my psychometric assessment. So we take our students through a psychometric assessment, which helps them identify what kind of career choices are best for them, which kind of profile is best suited for you. Should you be working in investment banking? Are you better suited for shared services? Are you better suited for retail banking? Are you better suited to be a consultant or a practicing CA? We need to understand that because your personality is unique. If a person like me, for example, can go and struggle in KPMG but become very successful at American Express, it does not mean that I changed. It meant that I found the right kind of job and place for myself. And that's something that we help people do in step number one, when we help them understand their aptitude and do their psychometric assessment. Step number two, explore your options. Focusing on your strengths and not on glamour. What are your strengths? Are you somebody who likes to work alone, or are you somebody who likes to work in a leadership position? Are you somebody who likes laws, or are you somebody who likes numbers? Are you somebody who likes to analyze data, or are you somebody who likes to implement set rules? What is your strength? And then accordingly build your career. Taking risk is good, but calculate. Unnecessary risk, especially this message goes out for people who've done 3, 4, 5 years in a particular career. Don't just randomly start shifting careers. If you've spent 5 years in, let's say, internal audit, don't just randomly try out something new. First, understand whether that something new is right for you. In the beginning, everything is boring. What do I mean by that? And I see a lot of young CAs tell me that I'm bored with my job. Trust me, folks, in the beginning, every single job is going to be boring because this is when you are being made to learn. You're being made to grind yourself. So be prepared to get bored a little bit in the beginning, but be prepared to learn a lot and focus on future growth. If you're working in an industry, in a profile, in an organization that allows you the career paths to grow, that's the right kind of career option for you. So that's something that you need to analyze. Understand what kind of work do you like doing. There are so many options available: auditing, taxation, legal, data, advisory, investigative, accounting. and many more. Frankly, there are all of these options available, and for each one of these options, the kind of skills that you need, the kind of behavior patterns that you need are very unique. A person who will be successful as an auditor may not be successful in big data or analytics, and vice versa. So you need to understand what is right for you, and that's something that we help our students do so that they make the right career choices. And once you've decided what's the right kind of career for you, we stick to it, because we don't take unnecessary risks in our career unless it is warranted, it's required to take a risk. Once we've decided we're going to build our career in audit or taxation or in advisory, etc., then we build a long-term career vision. What does a long-term career vision mean? It means that you know exactly where you are headed to. If I am sitting here right now at 45 years of age, I should know very clearly where will I be when I'm going to be 55. If you're a 25-year-old young person, you should know where will you be in 35 years from now, folks. It's important to have a vision. I always give this example to people. If you don't have clarity about your long-term vision, it's like you're driving a car on a dark night on a highway with no street lights and no headlights. You don't know where you will end up. You might end up banging your car somewhere. You might end up at the wrong destination. You do not want to end up at the wrong destination when it comes to your career. So you need to write a long-term career vision, and then you need to build a career action plan every year. What will I do in my career? What kind of skills will I add to myself this year when it comes to technical skills, when it comes to leadership skills, when it comes to networking and branding? What is my career action plan for this year? Let me share with you some examples of my students for here. This is how you write a career vision for yourself. For example, Rahul here said, my vision is to become a CEO of a large organization and a very successful financial planner who will become an example for others because of my successful investments. Now, Rahul was actually appearing for his IPCC last year when he wrote this vision. And then he wrote his annual goals with me. He said, I will start my articleship with a renowned firm by 31st of May. Rahul is right now doing his articles with EY. He wanted to clear CFA level 1 by March 21st. March 21, he wanted to complete a CA final half course by April 21. He wanted to complete a value investing course by 31st May. He wanted to have 2,000 connections on LinkedIn, etc. Then Raksha, who's a chartered accountant, she said, my vision is to use my knowledge and skills to become a partner in a big 4 firm so that I can develop a good lifestyle and hobbies and motivate others through my accomplishments and knowledge. Now, this is something that I helped Raksha write by first doing her psychometric assessment, by understanding what kind of personality and aptitude she has. And then she writes her annual career goals for last year. Get a job in a large organization. She's, I think, working with one of the big 6 right now. She wanted to refresh her knowledge of Ind AS. By 31st May, complete diploma in IFRS, become well-versed with Tableau, have 1,000 connections on LinkedIn. So you understand how people write their vision and goals. Once you have this clarity, once you know exactly where you're headed to, you're far more likely to get there. Some more examples here of my students who've done this work. For example, on the right-hand side, Akanksha said, after going through the lectures of all fields that are open for us, I think I'm clear about the one that I want to choose. Now, Akanksha just appeared in her final exams last time, but it's important. Now, Akanksha, in her case, she realized that IT is a big area of interest for her, and now she wants to develop herself as an IT auditor. So this is very, very important, folks. You need to understand what is right for you, and you need to work towards that thing by first clarifying your long-term vision and then building your career goals. So that's step number 1, secret number 1. Be clear about what you want. Now I'm going to take you to step number 2, which is you have to get better than others. This is very, very important. This is where we're going to talk about interviews and job applications, etc., etc. But one size does not fit all. But a proven method always works. And this method that I'm sharing with you today is proven. It's proven across hundreds and hundreds of people. I'm going to focus on skill, strategy, and relationships here. What does skill mean? Upskilling yourself beyond being a chartered accountant. Now, even if you're a chartered accountant or you're not a chartered accountant, whatever qualification you have, please understand that the world is changing very, very fast with the new technologies that are coming in. If you think that your technical skills are good enough after you've qualified, and you don't need to acquire new skills, you will eventually not be successful. So you need to upskill yourself, and I'm going to teach you what kind of skills you need to upskill yourself on. And then interview skills and leadership skills. How do you appear in interviews? How do you present yourself? How do you crack those deals in the interviews? And what kind of leadership skills do you need to demonstrate to be really successful? Strategy is very important. You need to have a strategy when it comes to becoming better than others. Resume management. How do you design and build a resume that gets you many interview calls? Now, this is one major problem that a lot of us are facing. We've been applying for jobs and we're not getting interviews. So I'm going to tell you why that's happening and what you can do to change that. You need to understand what is your opportunity landscape, what kind of companies and what kind of jobs you should be applying for. A problem that most of us face is we apply for 200 jobs randomly. If you are a 1-year-old chartered accountant or 1-year qualified chartered accountant, any job which asks for a CA with 1-year qualification, we apply for it and we don't get interview calls. And that's not right. It's not the way you should be applying for. That's not how smart and modern job search works. And then finally, relationships. You have to focus on building your networks by offering value so that people are willing to support you and guide you. Why is all this important, people? Because this is something that World Economic Forum came up with. This is a jobs landscape in 2022. It's just about a year from now. This report came out a couple of years back. If you look at what's on the top, it's the emerging roles, the new kinds of roles. And if you look at them, you'll see they're all technology oriented. And at the bottom, the declining roles, these are roles which are diminishing in the marketplace. And if you look at number 7 on declining roles, it says accountants and auditors. And that's scary. That's scary. World Economic Forum believes that the roles of basic accountants and auditors are going to continue declining. Why? Because new technology is coming in. So you need to upgrade yourself so that you become eligible for these emerging roles in the marketplace by developing new skills. And I'm going to tell you that there are 3 tiers of skill. 3 tiers of skill that you should be focusing upon to build yourself up for these new careers. Future skills and new world careers, folks. There are 3 tiers of skill. 1, base knowledge of a technical skill that is required. So for example, if you are working in an auditing organization, what kind of new technology is impacting audit jobs? If you're working in big data, what kind of new technologies are impacting big data jobs? If you're working in investment banking, what kind of new technologies are going to impact the investment banking jobs? And you need to develop basic knowledge of those technologies. I'm not saying become deep experts, but develop basic knowledge. That's level 1. Level 2 is finance foundation. What kind of career do you want to build? If you want to become a indirect tax professional, you need to develop deep skills and deep knowledge in that particular finance vertical. If you want to become a reporting professional, you need to develop or do courses which will help you become a deep technical expert in the field of reporting. Similarly, cost accounting, management accounting, financial modeling, depending on where you want to go for, you need to develop deep skills. Now, link this up to the step 1 that I told you about, where you became clear about which finance family do you want to belong to. And then you do skill yourself up by acquiring technology skills and deep finance knowledge on that particular aspect. I mean, frankly, if you want to become a tax expert and if you're doing a course in IFRS, it doesn't make sense. And that's what a lot of people end up doing. They just randomly do courses which are not aligned to their long-term career plan. And then finally, you need to develop expertise, folks, in leadership, things like collaboration, influencing, storytelling, relationship building. These are the kind of skills that organizations are hiring for. All of us know people who get hired for really, really high salary packages. Why does that happen? Because those people have understood the importance of 3-tier skill framework: base knowledge of technology, deep finance foundations, and expertise in leadership. If you're not able to build this, you will become obsolete and you will become outdated. You will not be able to grow as fast as you would like in your career. Folks, do you understand the importance of the 3-tier skill framework? If you understand the importance of 3-tier skill framework, please chat in the chat box so that I know that you've understood what this means. All right, Dhruvid and Manak, thank you so much. All right, Ekta, Ramakrishna, thank you so much. You guys realize that this is important, folks. If you want to build long-term career success, you have to build a 3-tier skill framework for yourself. So that's skilling yourself up. Now let's talk about job hunting. This is what happens before the job interview. If you are not clear about which kind of job you want to apply for, you'll end up applying for all kinds of jobs. And this is what typically happens. A chartered accountant, you qualify. The first thing you do is you update your resume, then you upload your resume in Naukri.com, maybe you update your LinkedIn profile, and then you go to Naukri and start looking at jobs for fresher chartered accountants, and any fresher chartered accountant job that you see, you randomly start applying. You've applied for 200 jobs within 10 days, and then you're waiting for job interviews to start flowing towards you, and nothing happens. How many of you have gone through that? If you've gone through that, if you've been applying for so many jobs and you've not really got interview calls, please tell me on the chat box if you struggle with this. Ekta says yes, and Sai and Dhruvit, yeah. And Ramakrishna says applied for 50. I mean, you'll probably end up applying for 200, Ramakrishna, if you don't understand how to do it. Tanuj and Unknown, yes, absolutely, guys. This is what's happening. Manak, no responses. I know there will be no responses. That's what is happening out there. And it is not their fault. It is your fault. Please understand this. If you're applying for any random job, you will not get interview calls. Why is that happening? Because every company is looking for a specialist right now, and you are not a specialist. Unless you know which career or which profile you want to build your career in, you will not be able to build a resume which you would need for yourself, folks. Please understand, every single big company in the world today applies or uses what is known as an application tracking system software, or ATS. Some of you might have heard of it. ATS is a software where your CVs go in when you apply. And if this ATS has got some keywords in it. If your resume does not have the same keywords, then your resume is auto rejected. Now, for every job that is posted out there, there are hundreds of CVs coming into ATS. Only 5 to 10% get shortlisted and get seen by a human being later on. Which are those resumes? Those are the resumes of specialists. If you're applying for an indirect taxation job, folks, and if your resume does not talk about your skill and expertise in indirect taxation, forget about getting shortlisted. Somebody else has probably thought about it and built a CV around indirect taxation. They've got courses, they've done courses on indirect taxation. They've mentioned their experience in indirect taxation. They've mentioned their interest in indirect taxation in the objective statement of the resume, etc. And they got the right amount of keywords so that ATS approves their CVs. So you have to first decide what kind of job do you want to go for, and then build a resume around that job, folks. If you are building a standard random resume for all kinds of jobs, you are not getting shortlisted. Like somebody mentioned, 50 applications, no interviews. Your resume right now is incredibly generic. Generic resumes do not get interview calls. So you have to customize your resume and cover letter so that you bypass ATS and you get better than your competition, because everybody is trying to get the same interview that you are trying to, right? So you need to stand out and you need to find a way so that you get shortlisted. It's easy, but most people don't get it. And that's what I try and help people understand, some success stories, so that you believe what I'm saying, folks. These are people from my batches so far. Here's somebody saying, when I uploaded my resume in Naukri, it was amazing result. Within 3 days of time, profile views reached 200, which I've not seen earlier. In addition to that, I've got some calls from companies and interviews are now lined up. Guys, this is not something that I'm just making up. This is stuff which is real, okay? Here's somebody else, Diksha, sharing, hey guys, I want to share one thing related to resume. Today, I again improvised my resume and resized it. And then I checked for ATS compatibility on Naukri and Skill Roads. And then I scored on Naukri 80 on 100, 69 on 100, because last time I got 75 and 65. So this girl is constantly improving the quality of her resume so that she gets more interview calls. By the way, Diksha now works with KPMG. This is a slightly old screenshot. So she got the job that she wanted. So you need to work on your resume so that you become more powerful in the job market. That's what modern job search is all about, folks. It's targeted, it's focused, and it gets you the interview calls that you want. You do not want to be sending your resumes all over the place. Eventually what will happen is they will blacklist you because you've been sending your resume time and again, and it's not qualifying the ATS exam. They will just reject your resume forever. You will not be even able to apply for future jobs. So change this for yourself by understanding how to build the customized resume for the kind of job that you're applying for. That's important. Now let's talk about interviews. How many of you are interested in talking about interviews, folks? If you are, please type a yes in the chat box. If interviews is an area of deep interest for you, please say yes in the chat box that I know. All right, trouble. All right, lots of you. I thought so. Interviews is a big pain area. And frankly, all of us at Finniche, whether it is me or Akhil Iyer or Sumit Mahajan, all of us have worked with big companies and we've cleared big interviews. And a lot of my students, almost all of my students, few of them are here, Shayantini and Sebastian. They've cleared big interviews as well. And it makes a difference when you understand how to approach an interview, how to deal with that process of preparing and dealing with the interview. So I'm going to share some stuff with you on that. But let me share some numbers with you, which will shock you. Okay. This is what the interviewers identify as reasons for rejection, folks. 70% indicated that applicants were too trendy while attending an interview. 67% mentioned that the candidates were unable to make eye contact. 55% because the way the job seeker walked through the door. 47% of the times candidates did not have any information about the company. 38% was because of the voice quality and overall confidence level. 33% because of the bad posture during the interview. 26% get rejected because of the bad handshake. And 21% get rejected for crossing their arms across their chest during the interview. Now, how many of you make one of these mistakes or something similar? Please chat yes, please type yes in the chat box so that I know you're a part of this community, because now that you know the kind of reasons people have for rejecting you, you can immediately start to eliminate these things. Anuradha says yes, Manik says yes. All right, guys, I understand. Folks, please understand, 3 out of every 4 candidates get rejected within 5 minutes of an interview beginning, within 5 minutes of an interview beginning, because of reasons like this. These are the mistakes that people make, and that's why they keep getting rejected. Let's go through the interview process here. All right. How do you approach interviews? What do you do to prepare? Now, please chat on the chat, please type on the chat box and tell me, for a typical interview, what is the amount of time that you spend preparing for it? Please chat, please type in the chat box so that I know what's the amount of time you spend preparing for the interview that you have. Let's see what's the average that I get. I know the average because I've asked this question to thousands of people now. Manik says 2 hours. All right. Shantini says like an exam. Shantini, you do, I know. Nayan and Kanak, 4, 1 day, 2 to 3 days, around half a day. All right. Okay. All right, that's the kind of answers we're getting. Typically, and Nan says not for every interview, half a day. So typically, you guys are saying three hours maybe or something like that. My usual experience tells me that a person usually spends 2 to 3 hours preparing for an interview. Many of you are chartered accountants or pursuing CA folks. How many hours do you spend studying accountancy? How many hours do you spend studying direct taxation or management accounting or indirect taxation or law? You spend hundreds and hundreds of hours for that exam. And this exam, this interview is no less important than that exam. So why would you only spend 2 to 3 hours? Why wouldn't you prepare? Why wouldn't you go through the right preparation process so that you stand out of the crowd? Let me tell you, how do you prepare for your interviews, folks? Very quickly, I'm going to share with you some steps of interview preparation. First thing, your job description. Whoever has written that job description has written it with a lot of care and caution. They've spent a lot of time writing that job description. It's like a question paper almost. They mention the technical skills that you need. They mention the soft skills or leadership skills that you need. They mention the behavioral aspects that you need. So you need to now understand them and prepare yourself for them. You need to have stories and examples to prove that you're good in those technical skills, to prove that you have those leadership skills, and to prove that you demonstrate those behaviors at the workplace. Why am I using the word stories? Because people believe in stories, folks. You need to be able to tell stories out of your experience, your articleship experience or your previous job experience, whatever you've done. You need to be prepared looking at the job description by telling stories in the interview process, folks. If you're just telling me some random English, I'm not interested. I'm going to get bored in 5 minutes. You need to tell me stories. And I've interviewed thousands of candidates, maybe not thousands, maybe several hundreds at least. And I know getting bored in an interview process is a very fast thing. So you need to come up with stories to tell me. That's one. Second thing, please understand about the organization that you're going for. Spend time on their website. Understand what kind of organization it is. What kind of businesses does it do? What kind of challenges the organization is facing? What kind of long-term vision the organization has? Who are the leaders of the organization? What kind of competitors the organization has? Please understand all of that, folks. You are professionals. You are not college going graduates anymore. You are professionals when you're hitting the job market. Organizations expect you to behave professionally. They expect you to come prepared. They expect you to come prepared with questions, with suggestions, with advices, and that's how you add value. You need to do all of that. You need to prepare further by finding out who's the person who's interviewing you. Do your research around the person who's going to interview you. Go to their LinkedIn profile, understand them if you can, and then you can ask great questions in the interview process, folks, because the third step is all about being prepared to carry value. If you think your job is to go there and ask questions or answer just basic questions, technical questions, you're wrong. It's not going to happen for you. You need to be ready to add value. Adding value means being able to give an advice, a suggestion, offer a solution. And that will happen if you're prepared. If you're not prepared, it's just not going to happen. If an organization is facing a difficulty while implementing a particular new law or a new amendment, and if you can offer them an advice of how it can be implemented, you've got the job. That's what carrying value means, right? Then making a solid first impression. How do you walk into the door? Like I mentioned in the previous slide, a lot of people get rejected with the way they walk in, with their eye contact, with the facial expression, with the way they shake their hands, etc. What kind of solid first impression are you all going to make? Are you nervous? Are you sweaty? Are you unable to speak? Are you shivering? If all of that's happening, it's not going to happen. So you need to practice your first impressions, and it requires practice. You need to practice in front of a mirror. You need to practice with a mentor. You need to go through mock interviews so that you know how to build that first impression. Why is that important, people? Because 4 out of 5 people are getting rejected within the 5 minutes. Like I said, you want to be that 1% out of 5 who will clear the first 5 minutes. You will create the right first impression. You walk in confidently, shake hands, smile. You ask for the well-being of the interviewer. You build some initial conversation with the interviewer because you're prepared, you've done your research, and you show to the interviewer that you're confident and comfortable in having this conversation. That's what is required, folks. Let me tell you another research-based situation. Majority of people hire candidates who may be weaker technically, but whom they feel they will be more comfortable working with on a day-to-day basis. So if you come to me for an interview and you may be technically very strong, but you give me the impression that I will not be very comfortable working with you one-to-one in office, I'm not likely to hire you. And that's what first impressions mean. When you go in, you create an impression so that the other person starts to like you. And when they like you, they will ignore your technical weaknesses as well, and they will hire you. And sometimes many of you might have felt that, a friend of yours got this great job and he wasn't even good enough, but he got this great job. How does this happen? How did this happen? The guy is lucky. I am unfortunate. This world is not fair. Have you gone through those situations, folks? If you've gone through those situations, just type yes in the chat box where you've seen people who were technically weaker than you get better jobs than you. If you've seen those kind of situations, please type yes in the chat box. I want to see if you've experienced those or if you've witnessed those kind of situations. Please type a yes in the chat box if you've seen somebody technically weaker but getting a better job. Manak and Ashwari and Sai, it happens. All right. Kanika, yep, it happens. It happens all the time, folks. People, and it's not because you're unfortunate. It's not because they are fortunate. It's because they understand the importance of being liked by the interviewer. They know how to talk. They know how to create a solid first impression. All right. And if you've prepared using the job description, the company website, if you understood the current environment, work environment, etc., then you can answer technical questions or leadership questions using stories. Use as many stories as you can. When I was working in American Express and I was getting interviewed for promotions, etc., I used to maintain a big notebook with all my stories. Every time I would do a project, I would write down a story because I knew I can use this story in the next interview that I go in for. The same thing you have to do. Every audit assignment that you've taken up, every job or every project that you've done is a story for you. Write down those stories so that you can use those stories in the interviews that you go in for. And then finally, folks, closing the interview. How do you close the interview? Do you just randomly walk away? What kind of things do you say at the end that make you more eligible for the job? For example, I strongly believe that, I don't want to just walk out of an interview. I want to tell the interviewer that I'm very confident I'm going to get this job and I'm really excited about this opportunity. I want to thank the interviewer for the opportunity to talk to me. I want to take that opportunity to show how excited I am for this job. I would even say something like, really looking forward to start off because I've got so many ideas that I want to implement, etc. Then once you stepped away, stepped out of the interview, once you gotten home, etc., make sure you reach out to the people who took you through the interview process. Send them an email, send them a message, thanking them for the time and the investment they've made in talking to you. I even suggest, once you've gone through your interview, come back home, find out the person who interviewed you, find that person out on LinkedIn, send them a connection request, and start networking with them. Even if you do not get this job, but if you start networking with them, you're likely to get the next job that this organization opens up. So understand how you plan all of this process. How do you approach interviews, your body language, your confidence levels, and why is it so simple to understand is this, guys. Nobody likes to interview people. I was interviewing hundreds of people. I never enjoyed interviewing people because it's a waste of time for me. I just want to quickly hire the next person that I interview. If you are the next person, I'd be more than happy. All you have to do is to walk up to me confidently, give me the right answers, show me that you're excited and prepared, make a solid first impression, and just close powerfully with me. And it's a conversation, folks. It's a conversation. Mukul, you're asking me a question. Hold on to your question, Mukul, till the end. I'm going to answer every one of your questions so that I don't get derailed with my chat. Okay, it's a good question, though. I'm going to answer that, Mukul, for you later. All right, so this is how you approach interviews. I'm going to just share a couple of other stories of my students. Here's Kajol, who says, I hope you remember I told you about how my failures in the last few interviews broke me so badly that I was resisting even to try for an interview. After attending your sessions, talking to you with the help of network you gave us, I gathered the confidence to start appearing for interviews. Since the last week, I've given 5 interviews. All right, now Kajol is somebody who's got a really good job since then. There's another person. She says, I had to reject another opportunity from Credit Suisse today. You have literally played your magic wand on us, and now jobs are getting lured to appoint us. It is getting hard now to deny a job offer. I've already denied Suzlon, Godrej, and private sector Gera developers. So this girl had to reject 4 offers of something to finally get one. And this is a girl who was struggling to get a job. So once you understand the process, folks, once you learn how to practice the process, because just knowing it is not going to be good enough. Are you able to invest your time in practicing? Are you able to develop the skills so that you walk in confidently, you talk confidently, you create the right impact, and you get the other person to like you as a person? That's important. And once that starts to happen, there is absolutely no stopping it. Now, guys, if you understand what I'm telling you, if you think this is useful, please please type yes in the chat box so that I know that you're still with me, you're following it, and you understand the value of this work, folks. This is truly life-changing, like I said. All right. Nayan and Manak and Shivani, unknown, Gitika. All right. All of you think this is valuable, this is useful, powerful. Varun, thank you. Bhavya. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Mukul, thank you so much. Okay, now we're going to go to step number 3, a secret number 3. We've already spoken about having a plan. We've spoken about how to become better than others. And now we're going to speak about defining your personal brand. And why is that important? Because 60% of the jobs are never even advertised. This is a reality, people. This is a reality. It's something that most of us don't even know. We think all the jobs are out there on Indeed or Times Jobs or IM Jobs or Naukri.com. 60% of the jobs are never even advertised. So who gets them? Who applies for them? How do you get them? You get them by using the power of personal brand and networks. How LinkedIn are you, folks? There are 20 million companies out there, 14 million open jobs on LinkedIn, and 90% of the recruiters are regularly using LinkedIn. 122 million people received an interview through LinkedIn. How many of you have done that? 36 million people have been hired by a person they connected with on LinkedIn. These are crazy numbers, massive numbers. If you're not using the power of this network, then you are really letting go of 60% of the job market. Most big companies out there today only rely on internal referral networks. If you don't know how to build internal referral networks, you're losing out. What most people do is they go to LinkedIn and they just send out random requests. Please refer me for this job. Please help me get a job. Please send my resume there. It's not going to happen, people. I get those requests, 20, 30 requests every day. And nobody is going to refer you unless they know you. You have to build trust and you have to build your brand, and you got to have a strategy. What kind of content are you creating on LinkedIn? Are you even a content creator? Is your profile updated? What kind of brand are you creating for yourself? Who is your audience? If you want to find a job in indirect taxation, but you know nobody in indirect taxation, is that even correct? If you want to go and work in investment banking, but you don't talk to anybody in the investment banking industry, is that even correct? What kind of communication are you doing on LinkedIn? Are you sending connection requests in the right way? Are you sending messages to people once you've connected to them in the right way? All of that requires a strategy, but you need to have that strategy. And Shayantini is right here. Shayantini was with me in Finance Leadership Mastermind earlier. It's worked for her, and that's what she's chatting typing in the chat box. And it works for every single person. And I'm going to show you some more success stories later on. But you got to decide: are you winning on LinkedIn? What is your game plan? Are you even active on LinkedIn? So many of us are not using this platform the way it is meant to be used. It's incredibly powerful, folks. You got to have the tools. You got to define your brand. And all of this can happen in 90 days. 90 days. I challenge my students to use 90 days to build LinkedIn mastery. You have to define your brand. You have to have a compelling profile. What does your headline say? What kind of skills are you talking about? What kind of picture you have? All of that helps you build a compelling profile. What kind of content are you creating? If you want to get into indirect taxation, you need to write about indirect taxation. If you want to get into investment banking, you need to start writing about investment banking. That is how you will attract the right kind of people you should be connecting with. And then how do you connect with them? What kind of messages are you sharing with them? Networking is not about asking for help. Networking is about offering help. So what kind of help are you first offering to people? What knowledge are you sharing with them? What value are you offering to them? Only then will those connections engage with you. And then eventually, folks, trust me, this has happened with so many of my students here in the last 1 year or so. People don't even have to ask for help. Once you have deepened your networks on LinkedIn, once you have built trust with your network, the right kind of network, you won't even have to ask for help. So many of my students have got jobs because people asked them, do you want a job? And then they got those jobs. So here's some success stories here. Suchita says, just sharing, from the day I posted on LinkedIn, I'm getting so many connection requests from people who are at higher levels. Lokesh says, it's an interesting story here. I'm Lokesh, and today I have been interviewed for international taxation profile with RSM. One of the today's panelists pinged me last week on LinkedIn after seeing my profile and asked me whether I'm looking for any opportunity in international taxation. Exactly what I was telling you guys. I've created my LinkedIn interface related to international taxation just 2 weeks back and been posting international tax related content, controversies from last 1 month only. I can surely say that my new LinkedIn interface has played a major role for getting this opportunity. I experienced myself that your resume and LinkedIn profile needs to be different from others to grab opportunity before others, folks. If it makes sense to you, please type yes in the chat box if you understand, because I'm just trying to make sure that you see these evidences of these students, if these young people like you who've done this work and who got the benefits. Folks, it's not magic, but it will work like magic for you. But you have to be willing to work hard on it. None of it is going to come easy. Like I said, 90 minutes is not going to change your life, but if you're willing to invest, this is what's going to happen. You will get people who will come to you and say, do you want to work with me? Because that's the power of the brand. That's the power of having a powerful resume, skills. All of that comes together in step number 3, and magic starts to happen. Some more stories here around LinkedIn. Mohit says, sir, I got an offer to apply for a renowned organization. HR directly messaged me on LinkedIn. Never knew such things are also possible. Folks, they are possible. Another one, Akshay says, till now, I have reached to around 20 to 25 people. Each call gets on an average of 15 minutes. Some seniors will give you reference, some will guide you on skills. The point is LinkedIn activity, which sir has told us, start doing that. It will help in many ways. Folks, this is something that Akshay, for example, started doing. I told him you need to start writing to 5 people every week and start asking questions and start offering values. This guy started talking to tons and tons of people because of this. Senior people started guiding him and coaching him and mentoring him. Once that happens, you will never have to look for a job. Jobs will come to you because these people now like you, they trust you, they know you are the right kind of person for their organization. That's the power of the brand. Folks, question for you. Are you ready for the 90-day challenge? Are you ready to take up the 90-day challenge to transform your brand and to get what these students of mine have been getting so far? Let's say if I get yeses on the screen, Prabal, Imanshu, Dhruvit, all right. Thank you, Manak, Ekta, Sai, Bhavya. Thank you so much. I'm glad you guys are, because it is a challenge, folks. You keep sitting and you keep procrastinating, it's not going to happen. You got to take the bull by the horn, like they say. You got to move in and you got to make a difference. Every single one of my students, whether it's Shantini or almost all of them, I mean, I tell them whenever I see them, these guys, you become LinkedIn celebrities in the last 8-9 months. So much content these guys are creating, so much traction they've built because they just enjoy this whole process now. You got to be consistent and you got to be integrated. You got to understand what brand do you want to create. If you want to work in audits, folks, you will not write about indirect taxation. If you want to work in indirect taxation, you will not write about big data. You got to be consistent, integrated, and be regular. Make sure that you keep doing it. All right, folks. So I've spent more than an hour with you. This is how you do it. Okay, I'm going to bring it all home for you right here. You have to build a plan for success. Secret number one, by finding out what's best for you and playing to your strengths and building a long-term and a short-term career plan. I hope you all remember what I told you, how to build a long-term career plan. Secret number one. Secret number two, you have to get better than others. This is something that I shared with you by upskilling yourself on the 3-tier skill framework that I shared with you. Technology, technical, leadership, upskilling yourself for the jobs of the future. Enhancing your communication and leadership skills by practicing and working with somebody who can help you, and manage your resume in a manner that you can strategize your job search and get more and more interview calls, and then practice the interview game like I shared with you. And then the third secret, you have to define your personal brand by building your personal brand strategy and execution plan, create powerful content and engage with the right kind of people, elevate your presence and build followership. Folks, once these 3 things are done, nothing else needs to be done. Nothing else. Your career is sorted, not just for now, for the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. This is the only thing that you need to do. These 3 things. Now, I told you a story in the beginning. The red circle was where you are. Blue circle is where you want to be. And I told you there are 3 problems. Problem number 1 was you don't know what you really want. But if you follow secret number 1 by building a plan for success, would you know what you want? Would I have solved for that first problem? Or problem number 2, you feel you're not good enough. But if you learn how to get better than others by using the tools and tips that I just shared with you, would you not become better than your competition? And problem number 3, you don't know how to get it done, how to get all of those opportunities by defining your personal brand, folks. Secret number 3, you bring these 3 secrets into your career. These 3 problems cease to exist. I told you in exactly 1 hour ago, I told you I'm going to ask this question. Have I told you how to solve for the 3 big problems of your career? And I would ask you, and let's see if you were going to say yes or no. So the question is, have I told you how to solve for the 3 big problems of your career, guys? I want to see some answers up on the screen. All right, Gitika says yes. And Mukul says yes. All right, let's see if Nayan and Kuku, thank you so much. You understand that these 3 problems can be solved. Dhruvit and Menak and Shayantini, yes, thank you so much, folks. Thank you so much for, and Abhishek and Ramakrishna. Absolutely, guys. There is no magic, but this works like magic. How many of you want to build magic in your career, guys? This is how you get it done. Now, you can. That's another question. I've spent more than an hour with you now. Do you agree that it's been time well spent for you guys? Do you think it's been a valuable session for you? It's important for me to know if I've been talking to an audience who finds this thing useful. I know this is useful because I've implemented it for myself, and I've helped many others implement it. And frankly, guys, you can now, you're ready to do it all on your own. I've told you how it's done. I told you what needs to be done. So you can step out of this training session and you can say, okay, now I'm going to start doing this. I know how to get it done. But please understand, old habits die hard. Because the way I talk and the way I deliver this session, I'm going to be motivating and inspiring you. And motivation and inspiration is it's like in a steroid. Once the steroid goes down, you go back to your old self. So, old habits start to come in. You procrastinate, you feel shy. You don't know how to write content on LinkedIn. You don't know how to recreate your resume. You don't know how to build, what kind of courses to do, etc., etc. And then you go back to your old self. And Einstein said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. So I'm going to be sharing with you folks what you need to do or what you can do potentially to change the way you've been doing things. And you have an opportunity now to join us at Finniche so that we can help you write your own success stories. And who knows, in 3 months or 6 months from now, those screenshots would belong to you. How many of you actually want those screenshots to have your names? The screenshots that I've been sharing so far. Let me see if anybody wants to or thinks, all right, Dhruvit wants to have that screenshot. Dhruvit, 3 months, 90 days is all I'm telling you. 90 days and it's going to happen. Kuku wants that screenshot. Ekta wants that screenshot. Perfect. Fantastic. So Shraddha, absolutely, guys. These people were exactly like you when they came into my sessions. And then they spent some time and we spent some time together mentoring, helping each other. And things change. So the question is, what if I join hands, we join hands and I work with you? You'll be thrilled by what about you about to hear. Now, I used to do this a lot last year, and for the last 7 months, I haven't done any program because I was busy with other things. And now Finniche has brought me back, and Ashwari said that we should talk to this audience. So I am finally, after 7 months, opening my first batch of Finance Career Mastermind. It's a first of its kind leadership program. Nobody does it. And it's time for you to become extraordinary. It'll help you identify and design your career path, ideal career path. It'll help you get armed with necessary leadership and communication skills. It'll help you get more interview calls. It'll help you overcome the fear of interviews and public speaking. And it'll help you become an influencer on LinkedIn. Does it sound exciting, folks? If it sounds exciting, please say yes on the chat screen. If you think that getting these skills is going to truly change the way you're living your life and your career today. All right, fantastic. Good. Thank you so much. Getting all of those yeses makes me happy. Now, how does this work? I'm going to be mentoring and coaching you for 12 months. All right. For 12 months, I'm going to become your mentor. There will be 8 weekly classes for the first 3 months, 90 minutes each. I will be meeting you every week to conduct programs or workshops around resume, around LinkedIn, around interview skills, around public speaking skills. And we'll do a lot of practice, and we'll do a lot of reviews to make sure that everything that you learn, you are going to get it. These are live group sessions, very practical, very hands-on. What you will get in month number 1, we'll work with you on your career planning, goal setting, emotional intelligence, managing stress, job search tactics, resume enhancement by doing your psychometric assessment, your personalized career plan, redesigning your resume. Then we'll work on your interview skills, your public speaking skills, and your personal branding by helping you understand what kind of new courses and programs you should be doing, which new certifications you should be pursuing, helping you do your interview mock sessions and your personal branding plan. So all of this is going to happen. Your journey in month 1, you will know which function, job profile, and industry is best suited for you. Within the first 2 to 3 weeks, 3 weeks, you will know which profile, which industry, which brand is best suited for you. You would have built a vision and an annual career plan for yourself. You would have decided on which new courses to pursue, and you will become a part of more than 1,000 now, many thousands chartered accountants. You'll become a part of this very active network. Month number 2, you will redesign your resume and you will understand how to turn it into a weapon. And I call it a weapon because you got to get better than your competition. You got to get those interview calls, folks. It has to be a weapon. You will understand the power of modern job search methods, and you will learn the foolproof method to ace interviews and practice it with me. And finally, you will start mastering LinkedIn. You will have a list of powerful contacts who will be willing to refer you, and your communication skills and confidence will be twice, and you will be a part of a big network of more than 5,000 people. And after that, you will continue to work on your career plan under my guidance and mentorship. So for example, Shayantani's program got over several months back, but me and Shayantani still talk whenever she wants to talk to me. So we continue to work together. Whenever you have a career related question, I will definitely be speaking to you. So the question is this program right for you? Let's see some answers on the chat box. Is this program right for you, folks? Do you think this is the kind of program that you really need in a time like this? Let's see some answers. All right, Manak and Shayantani, Ekta, Nayan, Manak and Kuku. All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, folks. Dhruvid, very needed. Fantastic. Absolutely. I know. And I'm going to show you some more chat screenshots just so you understand what it does. Here is somebody saying, thank you, sir. It's been a really helpful journey, and still it's going on one way or another. Thanks for creating such an opportunity for us to learn and grow. You've been a great mentor. You are really bringing change in lives. I'll continue to learn. Tanya, many of you might know Tanya from LinkedIn. She's been a prolific content creator on indirect taxation. She says, being someone who always wished for a mentor in life, this program not just only bestowed me with that, also it envisaged a whole new edition of me. Folks, this is not just about career. This is about you. This is about how far you can go in life. I can now proudly say that I have completed my finance leadership mastermind, a one of its kind, wherein you are merely not taught to overcome your weaknesses like interview fear, lack of communication skills, but it also aims at bringing the best out of you. That's a power of this whole thing. It's not just about you getting your next job. The question that I asked long time back, next job or long-term success or a truly happy life, this is something that's going to help you become truly powerful in life, in whatever you want to get. So this is what you get, folks. If you join Finance Career Mastermind today, you will have me as a mentor for 12 months, 8 group coaching sessions every week, multiple ebooks, and all the templates that I've created and I share with my students. You will have your personalized career plan and personal branding plan. You will be a part of our communities on Telegram, WhatsApp, etc., so that you can regularly network. And I'm going to be offering today 5 incredible bonuses for this incredible audience. If you're excited, please chat yes, type yes in the chat box. If you are excited to know about what are these bonuses that we are going to be offering to you guys today. All right, many yeses coming in. Thank you so much. Bonus number 1. You get access to job opportunities and interviews through Finniche, folks. I mentioned earlier, Finniche is partnering with corporate organizations across the country to fulfill their staffing needs. So as we develop our staffing network, as we start working with more and more organizations, preferred interviews go to all of our students, because you are the ones we are going to mentor and coach on how to clear interviews. So we're going to be referring you for these interview opportunities. So this is something that is going to be coming to you. You're likely to get more interview opportunities directly through us and our network. Bonus number 2, you get membership to Finniche clubs, public speaking, interview skills, and book reading. So we created 3 clubs. They've been a little bit slow in the last few months because I wasn't running programs, but we have clubs where all of my students come in and practice public speaking, interview skills, and book reading. So you get membership to these clubs, which used to meet every month, and we're going to be reviving them now. So there'll be monthly meetings of these book clubs that you can come and join. And then you get a one-on-one preparation session for any interview within 12 months, or a mock interview session with me. So I'm going to help you prepare in a one-on-one setup. You get the interview question bank. It's a book that I sort of collated with more than 400 technical and leadership questions. So you get that book. Now, the question, folks, is if all this did was, everything that I've shared with you, get you an interview for your dream job, would it be worth it for you? Or if it took away the fear of interview from your life, the fear of interview that so many have, would it be worth it for you? Or if it helped you build a large online followership and brand, would it be worth it for you? What do you guys think? Do you think it'll be worth it for you? If any of these 3 get fixed, my assurance is all 3 of these things will get fixed, though. Every one of them will get fixed. If we do this program, and if we do all the hard work that is required to execute all the things that you will learn in this program. Now, let me share with you what it means in terms of if you want to join. Now, we could have sold it for $60,000 with all the value, and especially with the job assistance, etc. We're going to offer. 12,000 is what we want to offer it for, but because you're special, you're here with me, you've been here with me for the last 80 minutes now, we're going to make you an offer that you can't refuse, and that offer is, so we're going to start a batch on 28th of February, folks. This batch is going to be priced at $6,999, and you can click on the link. The link is given up on the screen, and perhaps if somebody could just paste the link on the screen as well, chat box as well, so you can join the program. The batch is going to start on Sunday, 28th of February, 3 p.m. Every Sunday. You're going to meet me at 3 p.m. and I'm going to be coaching you and mentoring you, like I said, and you can go ahead and join it. So somebody, can you please, Sumit, Akhil, or Ashwari, if you can just paste the link on the chat box so that people can click on it and get access to the program. And there is one last bonus, because I said 5. You get lifetime access to career coaching. Folks, I'm not going to just be with you for 1 year. I commit that I will be with you for pretty much your entire life, for your entire career. Anytime in your career you have a question, you are dealing with a bad boss, you want to think about changing your jobs or careers, or applying for a new job or an interview, whatever it is, or dealing with a bad person or situation, politics in office, feel you can always reach out to me. So I'm going to be with you throughout your entire career journey, as long as I'm around. I mean, I'm 45, I'm not going to be around for forever, but for as long as I'm alive and I can talk, I will be chatting up with you and helping you out in your career. So that's lifelong career coaching that we're offering with this program. All right. And then, of course, there's a certification that you get. That's a Finance Career Mastermind certificate that all of you will get. Some more screenshots here, just some people who have been through this journey, like many I've shared with you, of how their experience has been as a part of this program, as a part of this journey. So you can start now, folks. Like I said, Sunday, 28th of February is when we start. It's going to be a limited batch. I'm not going to be taking hundreds of students, because I want to make sure that I'm able to focus on each one of you. You can click on this link. Sumit has shared the link on the screen. You can click on the link and you can sign up right now. The more you think, the more you delay, the possibilities that exist. What we are also going to be offering to you is this. You obviously have an option not to take this leap of faith, and you feel like, I can manage on my own, absolutely you can, and that's more than welcome. Or you can make the small investment, and if it works for you, it's great. If it doesn't, in 15 days, and within 15 days of the program starting after 2 classes, if you feel it's not working out for you, you just send us a message and all of your money will go back to you. We'll not ask you why you want to take that money back, because frankly, nobody's ever taken it back from me. So I'm not worried about that anyways. But you can get your money back if you think this is not working out for you. So just summarizing what you want to get: mentoring and coaching for 12 months, 8 group coaching sessions, courses that will be released with each class, personalized career plan, personal branding plan, subscription to our social networks. You get the bonuses, access to job interviews and opportunities through us, through our corporate network, membership of FLM clubs. You get one-on-one interview preparation with me, a question bank for interviews, and then lifetime career coaching. That's what you get. So start off now, folks. I'm hoping you've got some time to think about it. This is the time to make some decisions, and you can make a decision to do this on your own, or you can make a decision to join us right now so that we can undertake this journey together. So for those of you who are clicking on the link, joining us a program, welcome on board. I will look forward to see you. There's a link of Telegram group that you can anyways join us on. There's a Telegram channel that we run, or you can WhatsApp us to ask any questions that you might have. But please go ahead. And now I'm going to be opening up for questions here so that I can answer any questions that you guys have. All right, folks, shoot your questions.
Sorry to interrupt you in between. So actually I got a message in between. Someone said that I want to connect with everyone who is there in this particular webinar so that we start off our networking right away.
Perfect. Awesome.
Actually, sure. I went ahead and I just posted on LinkedIn. So even if if you guys want, go ahead and even like comment anything or like that, so that we always know that you were here, and later on we always have that. So sure. Just that. Continue, sir.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, perfect. So that's how it should be. And well, so folks, any questions that you have with regards to careers, with regards to life choices, with regards to challenges you're facing, with regards to the Finance Career Mastermind, with regards to me, you're more than welcome. Varun, welcome to the program. Varun has just joined us in Finance Career Mastermind. I just got a message. So Varun, welcome on board. You are going to be a part of the next batch that we start on 28th of February. All right, folks. Questions, shoot away. Like I said, I love answering questions.
Sir, this is Rani here.
Yeah.
Sir, I would like to ask you about a situation that I faced. My last job, that was my first job itself. I faced some salary issues, and I had to make a shift from that company. So during my interview, I was desperate to get that job. Like I really wanted it, and I just wanted to get out of my previous organization. So that I tried my level best to conceal my desperation, but then somehow I showed it to my interviewers. So in such kind of scenarios, what do we do, sir? Like how, though we want that job very badly, how do we project ourselves that we are very cool about it? Like,
yeah,
this is just another interview.
Right. So, Rani, this requires practice. This was a weakness for you going into the interview, and you ended up showing that weakness to the interviewer. So it requires practice. It requires you to understand what kind of things you will say when they ask you questions that you ended up showing your weakness in against. So showing desperation for a job is never a great idea. Showing excitement is the right idea. I always look to hire people in my organizations who were excited, but who were not desperate. Because when you're desperate, I'm trying to understand what's going wrong with you. And that's not a good conversation, because you're desperate means something has not been working out for you. And I'm not sure if I want to hire somebody who's struggling already in his or her career. So it requires practice, Rani, and you need to understand that there are ways to overcome your weakness. There are ways to build relationships and networks within the interview process. And the majority of it happens within the first 5 minutes. If you've cracked the first 5 minutes with confidence, then you can solve for most of the answers. Then you can solve for most of the things in the interview. So it requires practice. It requires a little bit of work for you. All right.
Okay, sir.
Some
Thank
questions.
you.